purchases, and so thanks for raising them.
On to the Republican line, Spencerville, Maryland. Good morning to Gary.
Yes, hello. Am I on?
Yes, you
Hi,
are.
Gary.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We're talking about the January 6th incident, correct?
And among other things, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. My question is really, I see that I was there to begin with, and I was there in a peaceful way, and I was listening to all the speakers, including President Trump at the time, and listening to Elton John songs, etc. And the people that ended up at the Capitol steps that day was a conglomerate of some people that were not part of the 100,000 people that I was shoulder to shoulder with. We're there to unite the country. We love everybody. I love my Democratic friends. I have many of them. We do not want to undivide the country. And the reason we were there is because of the election, and it's what was happening that led up to that day. We were there because as a peaceful set of representing all of the country, we did not like the election and how it happened. Now, we've got some things going on in Arizona and those other swing states that are going to come out. And I implore, I ask, whatever you want to call it, beg all of my citizens that are Democrats also to get ready and look at the election audit, because not only the audit is going to come up.
Well, what do you think will happen, Gary? What do you think is going to happen?
I think we're going to see that there's undeniable proof that the election was fraudulent.
Congressman Davidson, you want to react to that?
Look, I appreciate, Gary, you providing some context. I've talked with a number of people who came, brought their wives, daughters, men that are friends of mine, or people that live in the district that visited the Capitol the same way you described. It was the same as normal Trump rallies, peaceful, happy in terms of support for the Trump presidency, but also concerned about the election in this particular case. That was the reason for the rally. But clearly some people crossed the line. Who they were, where they came from. That's why we should probably have already concluded an investigation that should have been launched in January. It has become partisan and politicized, unfortunately, and it continues to be described very pejoratively by Democrat leadership. So I hope we can do it objectively. I hope we can move forward in the country objectively. And you can watch video clip after video clip of Democrats talking about the 2016 or 2018 election and concern going into the 2020 election about election fraud. But then afterwards, it was the cleanest election ever in the world. And then just recently, we saw in New York City when they were having a Democratic primary, they found over 100,000 ballots that were miscast. They did an audit. It wasn't controversial. It was a Democrat primary. These things happen in elections, and the idea that there could be a transparent audit isn't normally a politicized thing. It's part of how we have confidence in our elections. And sadly, because it has been politicized, there are millions of Americans just like you who do not have confidence in the outcome of this election. We should have full discovery, full transparency. There should be audits, and there should be audits in particular in places where the observers were kicked out, and where you saw right after the observers were kicked out, there was still ballot counting going on by election officials. That's not supposed to happen. And often where that did happen, we saw massive swings in the vote tally. So that doesn't guarantee there was fraud, but it should guarantee there was an audit, and that did not happen.
All right, we'll get one more call here from Cleveland this time. Michael on the independent line. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
Pretty simple questions, I guess. I chose to get vaccinated. Have you chosen whether you're vaccinated or not? And do you not mandate, ask others for their own good to get vaccinated?
Yeah, so I have made a choice. I don't share that publicly. I believe that's an inherent right to privacy, and I think while I've shared very publicly, like I was in the Army, we get vaccinated against everything. I don't have oppositions to vaccines, but people should do this, you know, in consultation with their own doctors, and the idea that there's this massive pressure tactic to force everyone to be vaccinated and then shame them for not answering it. You don't know what's going on in somebody's personal health situation, and I think it's offensive invasion of privacy to somehow put people on the spot and try to make them answer that question.
Congressman Warren Davidson of Ohio represents the 8th District. Thanks for being with us here this morning on Washington.